everybody, I'm Kimberly Turner from cookingwithkimberly.com, and tonight I'm going to show you how to cook cream of kale soup. Now, we grew some beautiful kale in our garden this season. I have some beautiful purple Russian kale, and it's enormous and beautiful leaves. And I harvested some of it last night and I got it prepared for today. And I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with it. I thought I was just going to wilt down some greens for a side dish, but I decided instead to make a soup. And not only do me and Mom love soup, but we love creamy soups, so that's what I'm going to do. This morning I got started a beautiful broth. I have clippings and trimmings and things from my vegetables that I save in resealable bags in my freezer for such a time as this, as well as bones from butchering chicken and other kind of meats. So I made a beautiful stock like this with the clippings and my meat, and it's ready to be strained. So I'm going to take out all the junk and we're going to leave that beautiful golden broth. And I'm going to be right back and put it right back in this pot. And that's what we're going to cook our kale in, okay? So I'll do that right now. So here's my beautiful broth. Now this had clippings of kale and some sweet potatoes, some tomato tops, carrot peels, and things of that nature. I had a bunch of nice chicken bones in there as well. And I seasoned it up, salt, pepper, I put some bay leaf, some coriander seeds, mustard seeds, etc. Whatever it is that you enjoy in your flavors of cooking. I also used fresh parsley and fresh dill from my garden. And I'm going to just pour this back into my pot. It's been nice and strained. And that's about half of the pot. Now, if you don't have stock, that's okay. You can still use just water if you want to. It's just going to be a little bit less flavorful, and you're going to have to season it up just a little bit more. And maybe put some nice fresh veggies in other than what I'm using. So I'm going to use this kale, and I want to get this kale actually started. So we're going to dump it in and let this wilt down and cook for a little while. I would say about 10 or 15 minutes. I'm not worried about size or shape of any of this stuff because it's just going to get whizzed back up with a hand blender. Today I'm also going to use some radish greens. Now you don't have to do that. I just happened to pick some radishes last night and made a gorgeous Asian salad with a sesame ginger dressing. It was unreal. But I like to save my radish tops because I usually wilt them down as greens. So tonight I'm going to put them in our kale soup. They're nice and washed, and I'm just going to peel them off of the stems. But I'm also going to save these stems in a resealable plastic bag for the next time I want to make a flavorful soup or stock. These are a little bit more bitter than the kale. My kale, even though the leaves are so large, it's so nice and tender still. We put it in the salad as well last night. Fantastic. It was so tasty. Nothing goes to waste here. Now I've just picked some fresh chives and some fresh parsley from my garden, and I'm just going to roughly chop them. Use as much as you like. You can really use any spices you like out of your garden. You could use basil if you wanted to. You can go any direction with this soup. Into the pot. I want to bring this soup up to a boil and then bring it down to a simmer. Although I've seasoned my stock, I didn't adjust it for eating as a soup right now. So I'm going to add a little bit more pepper, freshly cracked, and some chili flakes. I just like things spicy. I'm going to chop up a clove of garlic. You can use dried if you like, but I have some fresh. Now, I have a tiny bit of zucchini left from last night's dinner, about 1/4 of one, and I just want to use it up, so I'm going to chop it in. Don't be afraid to add whatever it is you have in your fridge that you need to get rid of. If you want to use some mushrooms up, if you want to use some peppers up, go ahead, do that. If you have some tomato you want to add, go ahead, no problem. Tonight, the zucchini goes in chunks. It's all going to be zipped up too. I'm leaving the skins on because the skin has so much nutrients. I try and do that as much as possible because usually we just peel it off and throw it away, and that's where a lot of the vitamins and minerals come from that we are in need of in our diet. So in it goes. My parsnip, now parsnip tends to have somewhat of a rougher skin, so I am going to peel this before I use it. I'm going to just peel it into my soup. You could also grate it if you wanted to. I'm probably going to use about 1/2 of this parsnip. And I'm just going to use my peeler and peel it in. That way it cooks much faster in the same time frame as your kale. Beautiful. Now my carrot, I'm going to leave the skin on. I'm going to peel it in as well. I'm going to use half of a carrot. The carrot skin looks nice and it has lots of nutrients in. I don't have to worry about it. It's just going to boost up the flavor profile, make it more savory, and give some more nutrients. These go in the freezer for a future stock or soup. As you're harvesting in your garden, you may notice that you have some vegetables, not enough for a whole side dish, but enough to add to something. So I have some beautiful yellow wax beans, and I'm just going to, I've washed them, cutting off the tips, and just cutting a couple chunks. I just have a handful of them. Now you don't have to add any of this. You can just add kale if you like. Now I have a lovely 2012 Noble Blanc from Rancourt Winery. Make sure you check out my review on this. Very delicious white wine. You can use any white wine you like or you have. And I'm going to use about half a cup or so. I'm going to hold off from seasoning with salt till the very end because we tried to cut down as much salt as possible so everyone can salt their own bowl as they see fit. Now I have my immersion blender ready for whizzing it up as soon as everything's tender in here. You don't have to use an immersion blender, but you can. I suggest that's the best way. Otherwise, you can use another blender, but it's a little bit more difficult moving it all around and pouring it in and pouring it out. Anyway, I just don't want you to get hurt. Use the immersion blender and it works a lot faster. Then, after we whiz it up, we're going to add some cream, but I'm going to add cream and a little bit of buttermilk as well. Okay, it's time to blend everything up. Everything's nice and tender and it's ready to go. I did a quick taste test. It's delicious. I don't think I have to mess with it at all. We'll see after we put the cream in how things are going. So, here we go. Okay, you're going to carefully blend this up. Start on low speed so that you don't splash it everywhere. And zip it up as fine as you like. Leave chunks if you want. Okay, that's pretty smooth, so I'm going to leave it at that. Now, the soup isn't going to be the prettiest color, and that's not the point. The point is the flavor and the nutritional benefit of it, okay? I mean, there's only so pretty you can make something dark green look, right? All right, so I'm going to add about a half a cup of buttermilk, at least, here. I'm eyeballing everything. And I'm going to add about a half a cup of table cream. This is half and half for table cream. If you wanted to add whipping cream, you may. It's just a little bit more rich and has a lot more calories, okay? So I'm going to stir this through and see what we're looking at here. I'm doing a really quick taste test. Oh, that's really good. I am going to add just a little bit of salt. Maybe a teaspoon for the whole pot. I'm also going to add a little bit of cayenne pepper. Feel free to add smoked paprika if you like. That's a nice touch as well. And I'm going to add a little bit more cream. I'm good on the buttermilk. It's nice and tangy, but I just wanted a little bit more creamy. Now, if you wanted to add some protein to this, you may go ahead and add a whole block of tofu if you want, or half a block of tofu, and then whiz it all up. That's a really nice way to make it creamy, high in protein, low in calories, right? So I'm going to stir that through again, and I'm also going to finish it off with a little bit of butter. My mama taught me that. A little bit of butter, and stir that through. You may skip the butter part if you like, but I want this to be really tasty. Let's do another quick test. Oh boy, that's really good. I'm going to plate this up, and I'm going to bring a nice bowl to my mom. I want to say it's beautiful, but it's not so pretty, but it's really, really tasty. It'll make you think it's beautiful, that's for sure. Mom loves it. She says it almost has the consistency of if I added lentils, but I didn't. Sneaky, sneaky. So I'm going to enjoy this bowl of soup. It's a little bit cool here today, and this is going to be the perfect ending to our day. Very nice. And I got a beautiful way to use my kale from my garden, which makes me really happy. To serve, you can sprinkle some chives on the top. That'd be a really nice touch. Now, I don't know if you can see the color of this. I don't know if I can tip it enough. Yeah, a little bit. That's pretty much the color. So don't be all expecting something beautiful. It's probably the color of a split pea soup. okay? So it's whatever. If you wanted to get really fancy, you could crisp up some nice bacon and crumble that and serve it just like that. But that's how I'm going to do it today. So that's how you do it. That's how you make a cream of kale soup. You can experiment, use different ingredients however you like. I guess you can't really see that. Use whatever ingredients you can and you enjoy, and I'm sure that you'll make a stellar soup as well. All right, that's how you do it. Follow me on Twitter at Cooking with Kim, E. Like the fan page at facebook.com/Cooking with Kimberly. My shows are on ifood.tv/Cooking with Kimberly and youtube.com/Cooking with Kimberly. And my site is cookingwithkimberly.com. That's it, that's all. Be a champion in your kitchen and eat deliciously. Bye.